News Today with Lucy Aharish.
Good evening and welcome to the news today. Security forces remain on high alert throughout Tel Aviv today as the manhunt for the perpetrator of Friday's deadly shooting continues. The suspect, named as Nashat Milhim, is believed to still be armed with a submachine gun used in the attack. I-24 News defense correspondent Shai Ben-Ari has the latest.
While Israelis have been living the reality of a terror wave for the past 3 months now, the situation in Tel Aviv Sunday morning could hardly be described as normal, as a manhunt continued for Nashat Milhim, who murdered 2 and injured 7 others Friday afternoon in a central Tel Aviv shooting. As the search goes on, Israeli police have set up their operational headquarters here at Rabin Square, perhaps the most central and symbolic location in the entire city.
There are special security arrangements. We have more security forces on the streets. We have security forces that are going between homes and buildings looking for the terrorists. And of course, all of the schools and kindergartens have increased security.
Indeed, beefed-up security could be seen outside this primary school in northern Tel Aviv, not far from where the attack took place.
We had a difficult dilemma as to whether to send the kids to school or not. They really wanted to go, so I accompanied them. And as you can see, I'm bringing them back as well.
You guys really wanted to go to school today?
Yeah, pretty much.
You weren't scared?
No, because the police were here and all the security forces, so I felt safe.
There were reports that up to 50% of school children in the city's north didn't attend classes Sunday, with the mayor himself saying he couldn't blame those parents who kept their kids at home. Is it not a mixed message?
Not at all. I myself am a parent. We understand parents who don't feel safe to send their children today to school, and we say that that's something, an approach that we accept, acknowledge.
We are about 700 meters from where the incident took place. Many of the children live in the area. Some of them were able to hear and see things. Of course, they've been exposed to the media, so there were many reports of anxiety. In my conversations with parents over the weekend, there was not much deliberation over whether to bring the children in or not. We had reports of children suffering from anxiety, but overall children came in. 80% of our students came in.
The city streets were back to normal by midday in terms of both vehicle and pedestrian traffic, even at the scene of the attack. This woman went shopping Sunday at the health food store, where the killer was caught on camera moments before the attack.
It's difficult because we know that the terrorist was here. As hard as it is, we enter the store. We aren't going to stop coming here because he bought stuff here. That's life. You can't know when it will happen and how.
And with me here in the studio is Amir Oren, defense and government analyst for Haaretz Daily newspaper. Good evening.
Evening, Lucy.
And also Ali Waqt, senior Middle East analyst for I-24 News. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining me. Before I'm starting with you, let's go to Arara, the village where the perpetrator came from. And our I-24 News correspondent Mohammed Al-Qasim is standing by. Mohammed, the latest from you.
Yes, Lucy, good evening. The latest from here is that the father was taken by police into custody earlier in the day. The family says that he was taken for questioning. This is the second time that the father has been taken into police custody. And then after that, just an hour or so ago, the son, the eldest son, Ali, was also taken by police for questioning, and neither one of them has been released at this point. We've spent the day here in Ara, and we spoke to a number of people, attorneys, the residents of the city, who basically told us that they're in shock because of what happened. I went into the, to the house of Abu Ali, Nashat's father. I went in, had coffee with the family, and the father had, barely said anything about, the situation other than that he is shocked, and he said that we are very, very depressed. Also, one of Nashat's brothers, Joe, that has been arrested, and he has basically he will be in jail for at least 3 days. And I have with me here his attorney, Mr. Nachmi Feinblatt. Good evening to you. Can you please tell us why was Jawdat arrested?
Actually, I think that the general security of Israel and the police also don't know what to do. They have no evidence where is the main suspect. So they arrest his brother. Maybe they have a very little evidence that it's not enough for arresting, but They don't know what to do, so they arrest him maybe to put more pressure, I think, on him, on the family, maybe on the suspect. If he see it, then he will turn himself to the police. So, and that's what happened. The police asked 10 days, the police and the General Security of Israel. And the first level of court give them only 5 days because they said it's too much. But I didn't agree with this decision. I thought that they should release them or at least make the days shorter. So I appealed to the district court in the second level. And also the district court thought that there are not enough evidence. So they let him and give them only 3 days. Only 3 days on such a big, suspicion because he's suspect by helping him to do this crime. So that's why they give him so less days because they also, I think that it's not.
Have you had a chance to talk to Jodet?
No, they did not let me to see him. They have like a paper that they did not allowed me to speak with him.
As you heard, Lucy, this is the latest from Arara. One brother is in prison for at least 3 days. The eldest brother is taken into custody for investigation, and also the father is taken for more investigation. This is the latest from you. Back to you in studio.
Yes, thank you very much, Mohammed Al-Qasim. And we are back here in the studio with Amir Oren and Ali Wakad. Amir, we understand that today Israel, like it usually is after a terror attack, is trying to get back to the routine. But it's very hard to get back to the routine when you know that murderer is just walking freely on the streets of Israel and nobody knows exactly where he is.
It's a very unusual reaction for Israel because Israel is accustomed, unfortunately, to terror acts. But when there is a suicide bombing, you know that even if the toll is very heavy, 10 to 20 people killed, it's over. But this time around, only a few weeks ago, we tried to ridicule Brussels when one gunman who ran away from Paris was hiding in a suburb of Brussels, and the authorities shut down the city. People didn't go to school, businesses were closed, and here we are in Tel Aviv, and we have the same reaction. Parents are afraid that their kids, should they go to school, encounter the gunmen. We had, by the way, a similar reaction in the villages along the Gaza border when there were rumors of underground activities, of tunnels being dug, and people believed that they saw someone coming out of the ground everywhere. So it is not usual for Israel, and the manhunt could go on for many days if he's hiding in some safe house, if he has enough food to go around. There's no need for him to show up. And by the way, 2 people are right now in hiding and silent. The second one is the Inspector General of the Police, Ronnie Alshech, who has not been heard from for 2 days, and the public wants to know what.
You know, he worked in the Shin Bet before.
He
needs to be a little bit
yes.
in silence. Yes.
So it's a very strange occurrence, even for Israel.
Yes. Just before I will ask you, how come the Prime Minister actually came to this scene and to none of the scenes before until now in the current wave of terror? The Palestinians, Hamas, said on Friday that they don't know who committed this attack, but they are congratulating the recent attack that happened in Tel Aviv. Nobody's taking any responsibility. How the Palestinians are looking at the entire situation from their perspective?
They are expecting and following from very close the developments here in the Israeli media, in the Israeli streets. Lucy, I can say that among the Salafists in the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank, there is a high expectation to see whether this guy carried this attack on behalf, as part of the Islamic State, or as a sympathizer of the Islamic State, like kind of the American couple, the American-Pakistani couple who carried out the attack in San Bernardino, because they said that it will boost the operations of the Islamic State in Israel and in the Palestinian territories. It will help them to recruit the candidates they need for further operation inside Israel and the West Bank and in the Gaza Strip, especially after the Caliph, the prince of the leaders. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi threatened a couple of days ago that the Israelis will hear very soon the voices of the Mujahideen of the Islamic State. Of course, Hamas is following. Hamas is congratulating it as part of the Intifada. I'm not sure that Hamas will appreciate to see that it was carried out as part of an organization related or affiliated to the Islamic State.
You are mentioning, both of you mentioned ISIS, and we are just ignoring maybe the fact, or not ignoring the fact, that Hezbollah just threatened Israel about the killing of Samir al-Quntar just a week, 2 weeks ago, and this could be also related to Hezbollah.
I can tell you that the first people to be investigated are not even the father or the family members of Mr. Milham. The Palestinian Authority, the moment that the attack was acknowledged and everybody spoke about the attack, the Palestinian Authority convoked some of the militants, former militants of the Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigades, who were suspected to renew their relations with Qais Ubaid and Hezbollah in order to question them whether they have any relation with Hezbollah, or whether Hezbollah is connected to this attack.
Yes, I want to go right now live to Tel Aviv, where our I-24 News defense correspondent is standing by. You're standing where the events occurred on Friday. The latest from you, Shai.
Yeah, well, you know, the police put out basically an announcement just in the past few minutes that they have seen a very significant increase in the amount of call-ins that they've been getting from the public now that they have released over the past 24 hours full details of the attacker, the person who is thought to have carried out this attack, saying that basically the public is playing a major role in trying to find this person, who is still at large, of course, and many people feel he is very likely to still be in the greater Tel Aviv area. Here at the scene, you can see there are quite a few people, and just a few minutes ago they were conducting open prayers here around the candles and waving flags and singing the Israeli national anthem. There's also been some criticism, it has to be said, of how the police has conducted its operations. In the hours following the immediate attack, certain voices saying that perhaps the response was not as quick as it should have been. It took quite a few minutes, for example, to put a helicopter up in the air, about 40 minutes apparently. Different witness reports describe the amount of time it took police to get here as between 3 to even 10 minutes. One witness I spoke to even spoke of the whole incident lasting as long as 20 minutes. That seems a bit doubtful, but certainly it wasn't over in a flash. That is clear. So perhaps a lot of questions over the conduct of police, but I think we'll know more once they've caught the individual himself.
Yes, Shai Ben Ari, thank you very much for this. So how come Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is going to this specific scene and not going to any other scenes in the past few months?
It seems to be connected with domestic politics. He is on the verge of having to decide between the Jewish Home Party of Naftali Bennett. Does Netanyahu want to break to the right of Bennett, or does he want to kick Bennett out and get the Zionist camp under Yitzhak Herzog into his government and signal a more moderate tone? What we heard last night was not moderate at all. In fact, he almost decided to wage war on the Arab community of Israel, singling out.
Yes, I want just to ask you, Ali, before where you are moving to our French studio, about the controversial sayings of and statements coming out from Benjamin Netanyahu again against the Arab society. He started good, and then he started dividing the Arab society to Christians, to Druze, to Bedouins, and then to part of the Muslim community in Israel that needs to follow the other part of the Israeli Arab community in Israel.
Look, I will remind Mr. Netanyahu that there is a member of Knesset, a Christian member of Knesset, accused for spying for Hezbollah, and he is now away in Qatar, serving the Muslim Brotherhood and the nationalist Arab machine from Qatar via Al Jazeera. There is Bedouins who were arrested for being involved in ISIS activity inside Israel, and of course some of the Muslim community were part of the networks that were dismantled by the Israeli Security Service for this kind of activity. But we expect, last time Benjamin Netanyahu invited some Arab VIPs to present his apologies to the Arab community, and I want to see who will he this time invite in order to present his excuses after saying that he had some benefits in the polls, and now he should once again apologize to the Arab community. But it doesn't contribute to any kind of shared society and shared citizenship here in Israel.
Maybe he will blame it on the Mufti of Jerusalem again. Let's see who is the person, the perpetrator who committed the crime and the terror event in Tel Aviv on Friday. Mohammed Al-Qasim brings us this report.
Israeli police are still conducting an intensive search for the perpetrator of last Friday's deadly attack on Tel Aviv's busy Dizengoff Street. Police have identified the attacker as Nashat Milhem, an Israeli Arab citizen from the town of Arara in northern Israel. Much uncertainty remains, with Israeli police not yet able to determine a motive for the attack. Authorities have arrested the brother of the accused, Jawdat Milhem, and confiscated his computer. We came to Arara in a bid to meet the attacker's father, but Abu Ali refused to talk to us on camera. He told me that the family is in a state of shock and that he has no information on his son's whereabouts. Nashat's uncle said that the attack does not reflect the thinking of the family nor Islam.
Everyone is sad. No one is satisfied by the action, but we do not know what really occurred. Is it a mental state? Is it an assassination? We do not know.
Shortly after we spoke, police showed up at Abu Ali's home and took him for questioning. Ahmed Milhem is another relative and a member of the area regional council. He expressed shock on behalf of the town's residents and added that Nashat did not have a fixed place of residence or a stable job.
He suffers from a psychological problem. He was traumatized by his cousin's murder about 9 years ago when he was 19 years old. His cousin was killed by the Israeli police.
This is not Nashat's first run with the law. He was convicted in 2008 for an attempt to steal a weapon from an Israeli soldier, for which he served 5 years in prison. His lawyer said his cousin's death impacted his mental state.
After his cousin's murder, he was affected socially, and his behavior did not indicate a normal person. He would shout, walk weirdly, and laugh with strangers without reason.
And so with me here is Amir Oren. Amir, you wanted to...
Yes, Netanyahu last night singled out the weapons freely accessible to the Arab communities in Israel, as if this was a great revelation.
Yeah.
Now, it turns out that we are speaking here in the studio in Jaffa. And obviously, over the last few years, there have been several gun battles between clans in Jaffa for criminal or family reasons, and nobody cared. It was like the old days in Chicago. As long as they kill each other, who cares? But now Chicago comes into Manhattan. The Arabs come into Tel Aviv, and lo and behold, all of a sudden, the Prime Minister...
There is weapon in the Arab society.
Yes,
nobody knew about it.
We have to do something about it.
Yes, maybe now somebody will do something about it, and the police eventually will get into some Arab villages, sometimes that they refuse to get into when there is a big violence happening inside these villages. But let's see what the future is holding for us.